You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV Survivor After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV Survivor After Show.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Survivor. Unfortunately, Justin Walter couldn't be with us tonight, and I'm Jeff Probst filling in for the night. We are going to talk about the latest episode, Happy Halloween, Swoop in for the kill. Ryan also couldn't be here with us tonight, but we are lucky to have two Survivor beauties and ladies with us. Jerry Manthe, as always.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jerry. I'm the queen of Survivor. I'm the villain, and I hate everyone.
No, she does not. And then our guest of honor tonight, unfortunately, left the show tonight.
Hello, everybody. I'm Kat from this season Blood vs. Water, and I was just eliminated tonight.
Well, thank you for joining us, Kat. And
Pussycat's here.
Hey, take it easy.
What's all this ring action? She's got some bling going on here.
dressed as a cheetah, looking great.
She is.
It's my cat costume. It's Halloween.
Awesome.
Yesterday was National Cat Day. I don't know if you follow her on Snapchat. I won't give it out, but she is always snapping
It's
her
only
pussy.
special.
Oh, jeez.
Cats.
It's only special.
Cats for cat, right?
Only special people get my Snapchats, and my Snapchats are my cat. It's Snapchats of my cat.
Pussycat. What's
Jesus,
the?
Well,
It purrs. It gets crazy.
sure, a lot of fans are going to be joining that now if they can get into that. But
Can you just talk to me really quick, like you do to your cat, really quick? Like, let's hear your pussycat talk that you do. Okay, there we go.
well, in addition to having Kat here, we also have another contestant that has been
Very
booted.
famous one.
Very famous, 4-time Survivor contestant, booted on the show, the first person off this season. Rupert is here joining us tonight, so thank you, Rupert, for joining us.
Thank
Applause.
you.
Rupert! Looking a little slimmer these days, so thank you, Rupert. We have a star-studded episode tonight for you, and
We should also say that
yeah.
Rupert's his throat's hurting him.
his throat is hurting him tonight, so we'll probably just get some classic
some
Rupert grunts.
So let's just
right?
say 2 grunts would be yes and 1 will be no as we go through the show.
That sounds like a great idea.
Good, Rupert.
Perfect.
So we have Rupert here with us, and we're gonna have a fun episode, a Halloween episode. Happy Halloween, everyone! We're excited to talk about this latest episode of Survivor. So obviously, let's jump right into it. This episode, we get to the beginning of the episode is all about Kat.
It's very emotional.
It's very emotional. One of the first.
Almost like watching The Biggest Loser, where you just cry the whole time and eat ice cream.
It was an emotional episode.
Does that mean I'm the loser?
No, I'm just saying it's very.
I'm just saying.
You're ready to cry the entire time.
Yeah, so Kat, we get the first opening scene of you going to Redemption Island. Last week, one of the best quotes I've ever heard on Survivor was,
Who wants to date someone who doesn't make it to the merge?
who wants to date someone who doesn't make it to the merge? So we get to
Right.
see the full kind of scene of that. You
I mean,
walking.
ideally, would you?
Well, I also no. Well, I also
Exactly.
would say this, that I think you sort of set yourself up. But the first thing you said is, "I'm so proud of myself for not crying," and then for the next 22 minutes, you just cried with you the whole time.
Well, that was a joke. Like I was walking there, I was like, I'm so happy that I didn't cry at Tribal Council. Like that was, a joke,
Yeah.
but I did again.
So we get to you going to Redemption Island and joining Laura and John, and basically you're shocked that you're on a tribe of a former winner. You're on a tribe of a male who has a brother in the game, and you're going through all these to be an over-strategizer, Monica, and you were the one that got blindsided and taken out of the game. First of all, was it a blindside, or did you know it was coming?
I knew it was coming.
You knew it was coming.
I knew it was coming. At the end, it should have been a blindside, but me and Monica kind of got it into it right before the vote. And I literally just pulled her to the side and I was like, Monica, like, you seem like something's really bumming you out. And apparently what we saw in the episode is that Tina kind of threw me to the woods and just said, hey, like, Kat ratted you out and said that she wants to take you out. So when I saw Monica, she came up to me and I asked her what was wrong. And apparently what was wrong is that Tina told her that I said something. So when she came and asked me, I had no idea what she was talking about because I didn't remember.
So as a viewer, one of the things when we were talking about the show last week and where it went wrong for you, my analysis and what I thought was, if you would have only said to Monica and like confessed to Monica, I told Tina what she said.
It was too late.
So what? Yeah, what was the process? When was that?
Was the conversation more than what we saw?
Yeah.
Right.
A lot more.
I mean, it was a lot more. But it wasn't just that. I mean, the conversation before that I had with Tina was a lot more as well.
Okay.
Tina came up to me and said, Kat, like, Monica's driving me crazy. She's over-strategizing right at that moment. So I was just like, you know what? At the end of the day, maybe we should get rid of someone who's just driving us just a little bit crazy at that time. Monica is amazing. But when in the game, it was just like it was so many different options. Like, I was either the fifth, she was either the fifth at the time, and we didn't really know. And then apparently she knew, but I didn't, but I was so sure. It was just, and then that whole first 7 days when, Monica and I were getting into it because of Colton, like, so there was a lot of we didn't have that much trust anymore.
Yes.
Like, it was just it was gone.
So with Tina, it was more of a two-sided thing. Tina was actually kind of in on the conversation.
Yeah.
It wasn't on TV, it looked like you were the one going after Monica, and Tina was like, whoa,
I mean, if that was, think about it. If that was really the case, why is Tina the only person that knew about it?
Yeah.
I didn't go to anybody else. I mean, I didn't go to Laura B. I didn't go to Kate. I mean, obviously not Katie, but I didn't go to anybody else or Vetus. I didn't talk to them. I was really straight up loyal to Tina. She was the only person I was looking out for because I thought Monica wasn't really on my side sometimes.
So why Tina?
Because essentially I wanted to stay in the game the longest, and I thought that if Hayden and I made it to the merge, we would stay with the winners. It would have a better chance for Hayden to be in the final three as well as me with their loved ones. So I wanted to stay with Tina and Aris in the beginning of the game. Okay. That was my strategy.
So Rupert, do you think that was a good strategy to kind of get her to reunite with Hayden? Oh, okay, good job, Rupert.
Was that a yes or
it was a delay.
It was a delay.
He's having whiplash.
So when Monica first approached you, saying, "Kat, we got to talk about this," did you confess to her that you did say that to Tina? Did that ever come out, or the conversation we saw was it looked like you denying what Monica clearly knew you said?
Well, she just said that she didn't remember saying
I didn't, honestly, straight up, like, when Monica asked me, there were so many times where people dropped my name, her name, and everybody was messing with me. Like, all of the returning players used me and were messing with my mind, and like Aris was like feeding me things so then I would think a certain way about because they wanted us to split apart. They wanted the One Worlders to go against each other. So that was their plan from the get-go, and it really did work.
Going into the game, did the One World people, you, Colton, and Monica, have an agreement, or did you kind of just have a general let's look out for each other?
It was just kind of I was more looking out for like Monica, but I mean, we all played together. Why don't we stick together? It was kind of like a duh, but
makes sense.
Sometimes essentially you don't want to be in alliance with people you just don't like. So that just doesn't work. But to get back to your point with Monica, like it was just so much trust that just didn't work out at the end that that conversation was a little bit longer, and it was just hard.
So then what's the deal with Tina? If you guys were just having like a casual conversation where you should be able just to speak your mind, like why do you think she got so trigger happy when she could have easily like reeled you back in, as opposed to just being like, Kat can't be trusted, she is trying to break the alliance up, when if that was the conversation you were just adding to the conversation, why did she take it that way, do you think?
That's how the whole game was, honestly. There was not one time where I felt that wherever I put my words were safe.
Wow.
And that's so hard to say because on my first season, One World, anything that I said, because I got a mouth, and I don't mean...
Kat, you have a mouth.
I don't think before I say things, which can sometimes benefit me and sometimes really put me, in the shit. So in this particular game, I had nobody that was like my right-hand man except for my boyfriend who was on the opposite side, which Rupert would agree. But
your boyfriend's a loser anyways.
I mean, that son of a...
Who's your boyfriend again?
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, average-looking guy.
So the fact that I didn't have my strong women alliance who were looking out for me, and because in my One World, it was more beneficial for Kim and Chelsea and Sabrina to have someone like me who was keeping the target off of them, because I was a wild card. But we were all best friends, so it was convenient. This season, there's not one person that I could felt like that I could say something and it wasn't going to get back to anybody else. And because I was the youngest, and when Colton was gone, it was a lot easier to point that finger at me because she's young. What do we care?
In terms of the women, your tribe, the returning was mostly older women, and the other tribe was all the young women. So it's kind of you. Do you think you've had a better shot with the other tribe?
I mean, Tina and I'm not Tina. Me and Katie are besties. Like, I mean, I really like Katie. I really like them all, but it probably would have been a little bit more easier for me if I had girls that were maybe my age and that didn't have kids and didn't have a huge life and lived all this experience. What was your goal
going on this season? Because everyone comes on with something. Hey, I want to do this or try to show this or do this differently than last time. Did you have much thought to what do you want to do differently than last time?
Shit, I was just happy I just got back on.
Yeah. And you love the show.
I love
You love
show.
Survivor.
I love the show. I wanted to do better.
Because some people going like, hey, I didn't like how I was portrayed, or you said you were the wild card last time, so were you like, hey, I don't want to be that girl this time. This time I want to come on and be more confident or be X, Y, and Z or whatever it was, or was there really not that much thought to it?
I mean, wild card probably wasn't the right word to say, but it was just a lot easier to, show my point. But if I were to come on and said I wanted to play a different game, it would probably be just a little bit more understanding of everybody else's point of view. I came in my first game pretty selfish. I came out not selfish as much. I came into this game, I guess, I just wanted to win. I just wanted to do the best I could and play and, be on the right side. And because it was so easy for me that my first time, I was on the right side and I got all the luck. It all played in my favor. It always played in my favor. This season, I didn't get shit to play in my favor. Nothing. I didn't even get to play with my man. I couldn't even draw his freaking buff. For real? Can I throw me a bone, dude?
So let's talk about you and your man a little bit, you and Hayden. So going into the season, obviously you guys were the only couple in this season of being a dating relationship and not a marriage. Tyson and Rachel, sorry. So as a couple, you guys go in. What is your kind of relationship going into it? Because we saw a lot of concern, will Hayden dump me? Will Hayden dump me? Will he be not proud of me? Were you dating a long time, or how did you guys go into the game? How long were you a couple?
So we've been dating a little bit under a year right before
going into the game.
Going into the game, and I live in Florida. He lives in Dallas. We see each other maybe every other 2 weeks, 3 weeks, depending on the situation. And I work a lot, and so does he. So when we went into the game, it wasn't just the fact that my boyfriend won a game and I haven't been dating him this long. A lot of people on our tribes have known Hayden longer than me, and it's just there's so much doubt when that game makes you feel like you're somebody you've never recognized before. You don't even know yourself when you're out there because you're starving. Everything that all your bad parts of you come out. So not only are you thinking
that's why it's great TV,
right? Which is why it's great TV.
It's in 27th season,
right? So when I come out and I wanted to be, I don't know, a really good girlfriend, but at the same time, I wanted to be a really great Survivor player. So with me and Hayden's relationship, I mean, it was great, but it was really, really hard.
So there was a genuine concern that, maybe after this you wouldn't be a couple.
I mean, think about it. Let's say he were to win the money and I mean, how am I going to feel if he doesn't end up with me or vice versa? Those are the questions that you think about when you're about to go into this game. And then when you're in it and then you lose, all that shit's out the window. Right. And now you're just I didn't want to let him down, but you feel like you did.
Well, what sort of pregame thing did you have? Did you guys say if one of us wins, we're going to split the money? Was it or did you also think that Hayden also had a huge target on his back?
Big brother.
He's one big brother, and you're the only two couples coming where that sort of dynamic even happened.
We were playing as if that was going to happen, but it ended up not even phasing any because we had two other winners in the game.
Yeah. How much talk was there of Hayden winning Big Brother? Because as a Big Brother fan and a Survivor fan, seeing a Big Brother winner go on Survivor,
it hasn't been mentioned.
It hasn't been mentioned once on the show. But how much talk in the tribes was there? Hayden won Big Brother. Was there any?
I didn't hear.
People didn't care.
I don't remember him.
People didn't really care.
Everyone hates Big Brother.
Did people care about Tina and Aris winning?
I mean, clearly, since Tyson's now after ours.
Can we talk about transitioning? I'm hot with this
wig. Wait, Jerry, what are you doing?
Taking my wig off.
Jerry!
Are you serious?
Oh my God! What, Ryan?
Too much.
Wait a minute! I didn't even realize Ryan was here tonight.
Well,
sorry, Ryan is here.
Ryan is stripping.
Ryan is half naked now on our show. You have to go to YouTube if you've ever wanted to see.
By the way, those of you who are just listening and not
if you've ever wanted to see Ryan half naked, he's shirtless, just sitting here on our show
with my real titties exposed.
Oh well, hi Ryan, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I just
sorry that Jerry's gone now. No Jerry, we miss you.
Screw her.
So with Hayden in his former Big Brother past, it didn't really play that big of a role.
It wasn't recognized at all.
Rupert, when you were out there and you saw Hayden come out, as a Big Brother player, was it something that you were really concerned about? No, it didn't seem like Rupert was either concerned either. So let's go.
Rupert kind of has a bulge in his pants. I don't know what's going on down there. Like, wow. Rupert's packing.
Rupert, your wife is also on the show. We know that Kat is a beautiful woman. You gotta, don't worry about Kat being
you
here.
You gotta catch.
Yeah. You gotta catch. Laura B's a catch. Kat's not your type, Rupert. So let's talk a little bit about one of the biggest moments of the episode tonight was when you got to redemption. Jeff did reveal, and he clarified kind of at any point this season. We've been so confused about this. At any point on redemption, your loved one can switch with you. That's correct, right, Kat?
Right.
So Sierra could at any point be switching with Laura and her mom, and Candace and John when it happened. They could have switched. So there was a discussion between you and Hayden about switching, and right away you kind of said, I will switch if you want to switch, and you had the conversation.
I said switch with me.
You wanted to switch with them.
I said switch.
You said, please switch with me.
Get your butt down here and come switch with me.
You did.
Why was that?
Because I mean, I thought that we would do. I mean, again, this is just me, my selfishness. But I thought that we were going to be better as a pair, and I thought in my mind for that right moment when I saw the puzzle, I knew exactly what that puzzle was, and it took them forever.
You have puzzle phobia for sure.
I have,
Which this whole season we talked about is all puzzles.
It's all puzzles.
It's all puzzles, and I mean, I could throw down with some chicks. I could really can.
We've seen it.
You're gonna sit here and make me think about some. Are you for real? Seriously? How do you think that makes me feel?
So you said to Hayden, switch with me, and then clearly Hayden changed your mind. He wanted to stay in the game.
I mean, he said.
How did he do it? He had magic powers, his Big Brother game, his magic charm. What did he do to make you decide, I'm going to stay and you're going to stay in the game, Hayden?
I mean, he said the magic words. He said, what did he say?
Long term.
Long term, baby.
He knew exactly what to say.
Where do you think we are going to be long term? He's like, honey, what?
Right.
We, long term.
Your cat started purring and you said, I will go to Ponderosa.
I was like, all right, let me pack up my bags. Long term.
Long term.
All right, here I go. I'm out the door.
Every girl wants to hear.
Exactly, long term. I'm telling you, it'll get you every time. Don't fall for it.
It got you.
I'm going to write that down real quick.
Go ahead.
As a viewer, I do give Hayden credit.
He's
as
so
a viewer,
good.
He, in a way, played you a little
Of course,
bit.
and that's
he
why,
played you, and it was his Big Brother, the winner from Big Brother, Hayden, that I watched playing you in Survivor.
No, and he does, but he does that in a good, nice. I know it comes from a good part in his heart, but he does. He knows exactly how to play me and makes me feel like I'm doing the right decision.
Well, also, in his defense too, he couldn't really go up there and say, I'm in a great place right now, but because then it's like he's gonna get screwed. So it's like a fine line how much you can say. I mean, you really have to not get too crazy or let your ego get crazy, because then he's the next one gone.
One of his secret scenes that we watched, the secret scenes on CBS.com, one of his first ones was talking about how the opportunity or idea of switching, and he was talking about, I would switch with Kat in a second because I know, not in a second, but I know I will. If I go to Redemption Island, I will come back.
I'll come back.
These challenges are easy for me. These challenges,
which is what I thought. Yeah. That's why when I coming in, I'm just like, yo, baby, come on down here and switch to girl.
So do you think ultimately you would have been, let's say you did switch, and Hayden did come back in the game? Do you think as a pair,
sitting here right now?
do you think as a pair it would have been worse for you, or is it better that you're gone for Hayden?
You know what? I think long term that Hayden would probably do better than me, and because there hasn't been enough bridges that he's burned.
Yeah.
But me pulling that crying phase and feel bad for me and look at my boyfriend out there, that could have been playing in his favor. But then there's a part of me that he was aligning with people that I was aligned with. I didn't know if I was either Monica was the 5 or I was the 5, but I don't know if you heard, but every single one on both tribes were cheering for me to win that duel. So regardless, they would be thankful if I came in more than Laura or John.
I mean, the people that voted you off, who
not
cares
on that side. On their side, Tyson, Jervis, and
all of them
Aris were
wanted
all.
you. They wanted you.
Because the thing is, Aris stood me up right before we switched tribes, and getting Monica to really, really, really not trust me. He pulled some kind of line, and somehow, some way, she just could not trust me. So they were cheering for me. So if I did switch, that was what was going in my mind at that moment. If I did switch with, I would be going with their alliance, which is the alliance I just left. And the reason why I'm here today is because they switched and my alliance went that way.
Yeah. So when you went home and you begged basically Hayden Hayden to switch with you and you went home, what was your emotional feeling of leaving the game and knowing that Hayden could have switched with you and he didn't? What were you feeling in that moment at the time when you walked off the island?
I was a little, I was happy, but then I was a little, I was pissed when I got home.
Pissed at Hayden?
I was mad.
You were?
I was mad, and he knows. Like, it was hard.
What's funny watching it, because you were obviously very emotional and a little, like, really into it, but as soon as you, like, put your, like, buff in the fire, it's like you were, like, relieved for a second. Like, you look like you were like, okay, I'm just gonna go.
Because no matter what, like, I've always been that person to be so forgiving and just be so blessed and so happy and so thankful. Yeah. And that's kind of what my life has always been about. Like, I get the shit, but I'm so thankful for doing it.
Yeah,
you know?
She's so well spoken and just poised. I mean, Rupert, what do you think? Winner here? We got a winner on our hands. He is grunting over there.
He's a good grunter. Stop looking at him.
Sorry, I'm gonna start.
Look, Ryan, you've never talked about Rupert's. I mean, whenever we've talked about Rupert, Ryan has not been obsessed, but his eyes will not leave Rupert.
I love Rupert. I've loved Rupert for years. By the way, we're all drinking at home.
So let's talk about the episode, Kat. We're so excited that you're here. Cheers.
Wait, what's your hashtag?
Is it water?
What's your hashtag that you were talking about earlier?
It's like bugs in it, dude.
It's okay.
We want you to feel at home on Survivor.
Oh, thank you.
That's why we put bugs in your water.
What's your hashtag you were talking about earlier?
Hashtag hat. Hashtag team hat all the way.
Team hat. Whenever you hear hat, to have a sip of drink at home.
Yes, it's for Kat and Hayden. But now we have to cheer for Hayden.
We're rooting for Hayden. We're so excited to have you here to talk about the rest of the episode with us, because now you're seeing the game as a viewer. You're seeing the game as a fan. Mm-hmm. You know, obviously you know who comes along the way a few more times before the merge and that sort of stuff. John gives the clue to Monica. And
again.
I think it's so stupid. I think he should be building bridges with people that he could make alliances with when he returns in the game. What is your thought? Because the immunity clues this season are absolutely ridiculous that everybody's throwing them in the fire.
Yeah, I mean, as a viewer, it's ridiculous. But when you're in the game, you do what this whole season has been doing, what everybody wants you to do. Like, if there's no individual... There's no moves that are being made, and you know what?
Just like Big Brother this year.
And the thing is, it's just like
the
issue is, it's the trend. I'm telling you, as reality TV goes on, that is the trend.
Do what the house wants. Do what the tribe wants.
Do what the tribe wants. Do what the house wants. Yeah. And so, and then not to mention, you have a family member in this season. So if you piss off the mom, you're gonna piss off the daughter. There goes your 2 votes. Like, see ya. Mm-hmm. You know. So it's, you know. If,
so do you think you gave the clue to anyone? Every single person there would throw it in the fire.
At this point, absolutely.
So even if he gave it to someone like Caleb or Sierra, they wouldn't think, let me use this to build alliances. Let me use this to share this.
They wouldn't. As new
what about
players,
Hayden?
As Hayden, I think that he would have kept it.
He would have kept it.
He would have kept it because I guarantee. Because
he would have shared it with everybody.
Hayden could have lost. This is what I'm telling you, man. This man is amazing. Keep watching this man. Hayden could have lost like 5 challenges in a row and then be like, it's okay, babe. It's okay, man. Like, don't worry about it. Hey. It's all right. It's okay. It's just, you know, hey, it's okay, Hayden, if you miss the skeet ball for like 45 times. Like, and so, and they, I mean, if I would have done that, are you kidding me, Kat? Like, are you serious? She's about to get out.
Hayden is the Tina of their tribe.
I'm telling you, like, there's something in the air when he comes into a tribe. Like, he's just, or even in the house, like, he's just a good player. People want him around him. He's good energy. He doesn't have any bad, negative bullshit. Like, he's just a good, solid guy. And so people like that.
Yeah. I mean, the hidden clue this season, I mean, it's kind of, the idol's not going to come into play. I mean, it seems like the idol's clearly not going to come into play, which is a little boring, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. Again, I don't know.
Maybe after the merge, maybe we'll see people actually start looking for it and kind of figuring it out.
Maybe
like, this bitch knows what's up.
But it'll be nice to know if things do happen in those ways, but it'll make things a little bit more interesting, which is nice.
So you got to see Hayden's response as we did as a viewer. Crying, Hayden crying.
How cute was that?
It was very cute.
How cute? Go ahead, you can be gay.
No, what did you think? What did you think of it? What did you think of it?
I mean, even thinking about it.
The first time you watched it, was that today?
I've never seen it in my life, and I've seen it twice tonight, and Is
that going to be like on your
I've never
Instagram?
seen that in real life. Give me that stuff.
Oh, he hasn't cried in front of you in real life.
I mean, not really. I mean, you know, he doesn't. He doesn't cry.
It's crazy circumstances, though. I mean,
I mean, you would never. A grown man doesn't
don't just break
ball
down
out like that.
Unless you're watching The Biggest Loser.
Stop with the fat people.
Bless them. I feel sorry for them. Bless them.
Bless them. Praise. Preach, baby. Preach for the fat ones.
One of the things, Hayden, with his tears and his emotions was the realization
His frailty.
This is probably better for me in the game.
Yeah, ideally, it was the best thing that could happen.
And it seems like that's another common theme is everyone that finally loses their loved one, it's like a weight lifted off their shoulder.
It is.
That you don't have that target of the loved one. You don't have to worry about someone else in the game.
It's so much easier to play by yourself. Like, I mean, like if you're doing Amazing Race, like you're playing together and you're racing together. This is you're playing against them. You have all this guilt, and it's an awful feeling. I mean, you saw it. It was the Wambulance came tonight, and it was a full on cry fest. Like. For real. So, but everybody, it's even, I can tell you 1,000 times how bad it was, but you still wouldn't understand. Nobody will. And only those people that were there. And so if my man that I've never seen cry in a whole year of dating him cried this one time, I'm going to replay that. And I'm going to replay that. And I'm going to replay that. And I'm going to put it on and I'm just going to make sure if I'm feeling bad, I'm going to watch that.
So you guys are still dating, I assume?
He's loved my life. Absolutely. He's amazing.
And so when you left him, at Redemption Island, you said "I love you." Is that the first time you ever said "I love you" to him?
That was probably the first few times that we said it. Maybe I could count on my hands.
On the island.
Mm-hmm.
How sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's now The Bachelor.
Yeah.
Rupert, I see you're tearing up.
Was that a one grunt?
That was a one grunt. Does that mean yes or no?
What an asshole you are.
See, Rupert, we'll get to you later, Rupert.
No wonder Jerry. I'll put my Jerry wig on you because Jerry hates you.
No, she doesn't. They're friends. They're friends on Twitter now. You were not here last week. Last week we established that Jerry and Rupert became friends on Twitter, and the hashtag "Time wounds all heals." I mean, time.
What? Oh, here, go ahead, sister. Go ahead.
Time heals all wounds. Hashtag, what is that, Kat?
Hashtag hat. Hashtag
hat. Drink the bug drink.
If you could see how red Justin is right now.
Yeah, it's because it's hot in here.
No,
so I think I'm going to go into my next Survivor costume. It's Halloween, right?
What kind of
I have an undershirt under here. So let's talk about, we get into...
Are you really taking your shirt off?
I know, this is very awkward. Because I'm going into another Survivor person.
I'm in a leopard suit.
Let's describe this to the people at home. He's taking off his shirt. His necklace is coming off. I feel like Howard Stern. Next, the strippers are going to come in with the magic dildo.
I don't have my headphones on. Who am I honoring tonight just because of the World Series?
Boston Rob.
We'll do a little Survivor action here. All right, so let's keep talking about the episode. We get to see a scene where I don't even have my headphones on.
It's okay.
It's okay. We can get it. Where we got Aris. Aris is a huge player this season. From the beginning of the season, we knew that Aris and Vitas are going to be two power players. On his tribe, we see Aris do the scene where he is going to meditate, and he's talking about how he feels in control, kind of. Everything is going his way. He couldn't imagine being in a better position. And then we get a contrast to the rest of his tribe, including Hayden, Caleb, and Sierra, with Tyson and Jervis talking about taking out Aris.
I think that hit them like out of. I mean, I can. When I first saw it, I saw Hayden's face, and he was just like, "Oh, thank God, it's not me." And I mean, I would be ecstatic too if it was because I never heard about that. Tyson told me in the water, like probably on like day 4, and said, hey, like, you know, just letting you know, like, we're going to eventually have to take out Aris. You can be okay with that. And I didn't want to discuss it because nothing I said would ever be safe in anybody's arms. So if Aris caught wind of that, I'd be dead. So, I mean, like, he'd just come after me. So
one thing that Colton said when he was here was that Aris basically had an alliance with everybody before going into the game and was playing the game long before. Do you agree with that, or is Colton lying about that?
Who?
Aris. Colton said that Aris basically went in the game already having an alliance with everybody, and Aris is running the show.
I want to take that valid source.
Okay. All right. Good to know. You heard that. So with Aris and kind of the Tyson rivalry, and you saw it on the show, is it smart for Tyson to cut the cords this early and to go with 3 loved ones compared to sticking with returnees? What is your thought on that?
If he... Wait, sorry. What?
Sorry. So Tyson is trying to get rid of Aris, aligning Jervis and Tyson with 3 loved ones. So in that alliance of 5, they're basically the minority. If they stuck with that 5, Caleb Hayden, and Sierra could take them out?
You know, that is a really great question. You got to watch to find out that one. It's a really good question.
Predictions.
And I'm telling you, and you know what? For a fan, you are just a really good fan. I'm telling you.
Thanks, Kat.
You're on
That
the
just
great
made
track.
my night.
And that's the thing. You have to think about those scenarios, but I'm telling you, if you go out there, sometimes it's hard for you to think about all those scenarios, but when they happen, you're like, oh, snap.
And as a fan, it just seems so idiotic. A lot of things this episode, for example.
Wait, I just got a text from Jerry. It says, tell Kat she still owes me $20 for wearing her shoes. Ha ha. What does that mean?
Oh, girl, please.
Sorry, I missed them.
At a reality event, I think, did she say that I let her borrow my shoes?
I think so.
Yeah. So at a reality event, her feet. Oh no, it was me. My feet were killing me, and I really wanted a pair of flip flops. It was in Orlando. It was in Orlando, and I wore these boots because I thought that my man would just love them, and they start hurting my feet. So I go, Jerry, I was like, yo, can I get those flip flops? And she's like,
oh wait, I do remember hearing this.
And she goes, what are you trading me for? I go, these fresh ass boots that I just bought, 300 BCBG. Let's go. And she's like, absolutely. And and I knew she was the right person to go to because it was black leather, and she was all about it.
Yeah, she was lifting her legs on the bus.
And she was just, woo, yes.
Unfortunately, Jerry is out of town. She's going to be working. She's working the next 2 weeks, so she sends her love. I got a couple things. She sent us a couple texts.
Are you gone the next 2 weeks too?
I'm not gone the next 2. I'm here the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
Then I'm gone for 3 weeks later. But back to the episode in that alliance. As a fan, I'm looking at it as Tyson and Jervis. You want to team up with 3 loved ones who have a good bond: Hayden, Caleb, and Sierra. And then also they have Vetus to come back with them. So you're going and making yourself a minority in an alliance.
Who has a good bond? You mean the people that just voted them out? Yeah. I'm telling you, like,
it's weird.
See,
well, here's the question. There's so many layers.
If you were to vote me out and bring me back in the game, I promise you I wouldn't have any bad blood with nobody. But I can't say the same for the rest of the players. People take things a lot differently. And so just because you're loved ones doesn't mean you'll align together. Just because you're singles doesn't mean you're aligned together. This can go any which way.
Which is I'm loving the season because of that. You said earlier, I'm thinking of it, you said Hayden knew more people than you did. Who did Hayden know before?
Hayden's known Tyson and Jervis, and I think he's met Tina before. He knew Aris
from being in the reality world. And see, that's something I wouldn't even think of, that Hayden has an established or kind of a relationship or just a base with those people.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, and he's Hayden
it's
Moss,
a small
ladies
world.
and gentlemen.
Everyone hangs out.
And he's a very lovable man.
Interesting.
Hence the shoe trading story.
Yeah, we'll see how it develops with that whole alliance or the going after Aris thing next week. Let's talk a little bit about Tina and Vetus and Katie. So we kind of get a scene where we see Vetus and Katie together.
Why are we even talking about this?
Just
so
real
boring.
quick, we gotta say it.
Boring.
Tina basically wants Vetus to knock up Katie and give her grandkids.
Whoa.
Basically, she said hit her over the club.
This is when you're describing your daughter.
Sex.
Well, Katie doesn't really do that type of stuff. Like, she's a very good girl.
Is she lesbian though?
No, she probably wouldn't know what that is. Like, she's very intelligent, but she doesn't, she's not that type of girl.
Yeah.
She lives in the city, but she was born in the country, and she's just not that type of girl. Fortunately for me, I'm a city girl. I know what lesbians are. I would be able to tell you, but not saying
you're way more wild. You could teach her a few lessons.
Yeah, but see, I might even be way more wild for her, but because she's my age, and I just honestly, to be truthful, like, I just spoke to her for an hour and a half the first time since I left the game. I haven't spoke to her since the game ended. Maybe a text here and there, but not really. And
what triggered the phone call?
I think we Snapchat a lot with the cat Snapchat. and
I thought I was the only one.
You're not special, Ryan.
And she had in one of her Snapchats, her cat was actually going in her purse and taking, like, being crafty.
She's obsessed with cats too?
I mean, she's a cat girl, So, I mean, so is Candace. I mean, so is Tina.
Gosh.
Like, we all
Where's the cat alliance?
I need to get some pussy in my life.
Hey. So she sent me a Snapchat, and I was just like, I have to call her, and I have to tell her how much I loved it. So we talked for an hour, and I mean, that was the first time I even talked about after she eliminated me. I never even knew what she was thinking, where she was at. And till this day, I still didn't even ask her, but we talked briefly about it.
So then you just randomly thought of her and picked up the phone and called her.
Yeah, I just like
cool.
it was a shame that when you're pre-merge, not only does your boyfriend break up with you, but then no, I'm just kidding. But when you're pre-merge, you don't get any of the relationships that you're supposed to get out of Survivor. Either you absolutely hate someone or you love them. Like on One World, these women, I'm going to die behind these women.
Yeah.
Like, they're amazing.
I would say One World is the exception, though.
One
because
World
you
is
guys,
the only
you guys are like
exception.
a very close cast minus like 2 people, but like that's not normal.
Absolutely not. So I really did luck out, but I do know now how it feels to be Monica Culpepper when she got eliminated first, and not first, but in pre-merge, and she would tell me like all these kind of stories. She's like, "Oh, Kat's so miserable," but I never knew how that felt.
You can feel it.
Now I'm walking a mile in her shoes, and I can really say like, it sucks to be not in the merge. Whatever you do, get into the merge because you just miss out on everything.
Oh, yeah, it's a bummer. It's a bummer.
It's thank God
Thank God you weren't first voted off.
And you've gotten to play the game twice. You're not Rupert.
No.
Rupert, that's
Rupert's checking his phone over there. It's okay. He's probably texting his wife.
Rupert, I'm gonna send you some nude pictures right now.
Oh wow. Well,
some news.
Speaking of Rupert, there was red alert or red flag or a sign. We get a scene about Laura.
Red sign.
I mean, red alert. Red. Am I trying to say red flag? Red flag.
Red sign,
red flag.
ladies and gentlemen.
Red flag. We get one of the first scenes about Laura B. Finally, Laura B. Rupert, your wife. You traded spots. That was very noble of you. Hayden didn't do that, so you got that over Hayden.
Damn, dude, really?
Yeah.
Like, really?
Sorry.
It's been not even an hour. Like, for real?
No.
35 minutes.
35 minutes.
Kidding, Kat. So Rupert, we get to see a little bit of his wife, and she's finally saying she's feeling like she's in her own skin. She can be herself, and she's getting the game and feeling like she's in a good spot with her tribe and her alliance. Red flag. Laura B's in trouble tonight.
Well, that's what she's thinking, but you can tell anyone who talks to her, every person that has a conversation with her is annoyed.
Yeah.
Can you speak to that?
What was it like living on her tribe?
And I'm not saying it's like in a bad way, but it's just, I think in that environment, she just bugs the shit out of everybody.
Laura B would be the equivalent of a loose cannon because you just don't know with people like that who sometimes can be socially awkward. Who are socially awkward. You cannot form an alliance with them because you don't know where their head's at. You don't know where they are. Like sometimes, I mean, she can go off the handle. Like just like in One World for Christina Cha. Like we didn't have her really in our alliance because she was always supposed to go home every single day. She was supposed to go home. She was supposed to go home, but somehow, some way, she just like.
Because someone else would do.
Shout out to Cha-Cha.
Same exact thing with Laura B, except for Laura B, like she will come up to you and she will say, "What did you do?" Or she has a mind of her own.
Yeah. Was she abrasive or just awkward?
I mean, I don't know what abrasive means. Don't do that to me.
Like, did she get on your nerves?
I wouldn't say abrasive. I would say. What was the first one?
Awkward.
Yeah, she's.
I mean, there was one time, and oh god, it was so funny. There was one time in the game where, oh god, this is when Colton was still in the game, and this was a really, really funny time. So Colton was trying to do the madness thing like he was always doing, and Laura B comes storming up to the camp. And now this is the day after that huge fight that me and Colton had with Tina, and the next day after, I mean, the fight was huge. You didn't see it, but the fight was huge. The next day, Laura B comes storming up to me. She's like, "Kat, you dropped my name down, and I know it was you." And I go, and Laura B was supposed to go home from our whole tribe. Our whole tribe came together and said, "We're taking out Laura B because she was the person that came in first, who wasn't an original Galang." So when we were all together, and she's like, "I know. Someone told me just now that you dropped my name," and the whole tribe is looking at us because everybody has dropped her name because everybody wanted her to go home. So I go. And I'm so over it because now everyone thinks I'm a fucking liar. Excuse my language. I'm a liar. And so I go, "Laura B, who told you that?" And then this is Colton on the other side. He goes, and he goes, And I go,
God.
you gotta be kidding me right now. And everybody saw it, and that's when the whole downhill really went the next following day. And because everyone was over it, like they were sick of it. They were just like, dude, this is not gonna go your way, because obviously it's just. That was the point. The point was about Laura B, not about Colton. The point was about Laura B, and that she could be off the handle. Because I was just looking at her, I was like, yeah, sure, it was me.
She kind of summed it up though, that her background, like her whole family, that's just how. I mean, that's why she's awkward. I mean, it's not
how she is.
It's not her fault. It kind of just is what it is.
That's why Rupert's in love with her.
And Rupert's a little crazy too. So
So
I spent a lot of time with her, Rupert, and Rupert's wife Laura B, and I spent a lot of time with them in pre-jury.
Because you didn't make the merge.
Thank you for.
So you had lots of time.
Yes.
Keep going.
Yeah, but I did. But they're really sweet. They really are good people.
So you were then clearly on board with keeping Laura B over Laura M, though. So what?
No.
You
absolutely
weren't.
Not. Absolutely not.
Was all Aris? How did that go down?
So Laura M was my, God, she was like my soulmate out there. Aww. She was so sweet. I loved her. So we didn't say anything the whole time. The entire time that Laura M was supposed to go out. I was just happy that it wasn't me at the time, but they were on the boat.
Isn't that always the goal?
It's always the goal.
That's the Sandra strategy.
Right. Whenever someone's name comes,
as long as it's not me.
As long as it's not me.
Yeah, in this particular situation, it was. So Aris and Laura go on the boat for like 3 hours.
Really?
And right after we got back from Tribal Council, or right after we got back from the challenge, Laura and Ars were gone for like 2 hours, and we're all just sitting here just waiting on King Ars to come back and tell us what to do.
Oh my gosh.
So he comes back, and literally right before we get locked, he goes, Laura M. And we're like,
and you all just followed.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
wow.
it's all following this season.
What did you think? Because a lot of people were talking about how she was giving Aris massages.
I ain't going there. I ain't going there. Laura M is a good friend of mine. I'm not going there. That's just not. She's already had
she's been married for 20 years.
And I'm not doing it.
We had Russell Hantz call into the show that night, and he was.
Oh, you guys.
He wasn't pleased.
No, not we. He called in.
He called randomly.
What, like a fake caller?
Cheers.
He called. It's a phone number you can call.
Yeah, anybody can call.
He was not pleased.
Oh no.
So let's get to the immunity challenge. The immunity challenge is where I can't. What do they even do?
They're all chained together and they're all untied.
I felt like there was so much stuff going on. I still missed the challenge.
Yeah, I mean, I just drew a blank. But
they're all on the chains.
They're chained together. They have the tribe members chained together. At first, they have to have 2 tribe members on each end uncoil themselves to this coil. Then they have to walk together into this like kind of arena where they have to crawl under something and untie bags of puzzle pieces. While they're untying bags, they interlock and cross with the other tribe.
This too much.
And hold people back.
I'm remembering it. Come on, Kat.
I mean, hold it.
We got our fans. We got to describe it, you know.
It's too much. This is why I drink on the show.
So they're interlocking, and some of the tribe members are forcing the other tribe to get stuck so they can be even, and it was brilliant. You have all men. So on the red tribe,
which is kind of hot. Names,
it's all men. It's because Sierra sat out, and then it's all women and Vetus versus each other. When they get in there to unlock and untie the puzzle pieces, Monica and Vetus basically hold Aris down so that their tribe is stuck. So they leave that point of the challenge together. Then one person has to put together the 2 balls with chains.
Yes.
So you just
keep on going.
Am I entertaining you?
No, I'm just like.
So you guys, story time, right?
Go ahead.
So then what happens is Tyson decides to do it for his tribe.
How many times did he throw the ball?
He won't just wait.
Oh, wow.
Tyson did it, and then Tina did it. So you have Tyson versus Tina. You have 3 people on each tribe watching. It looks like in the challenge. Are you really taking a selfie? It looks like in the challenge it's close. Tyson is throwing, Tina's throwing.
Really
they can't switch people out. Tyson gets one, Tina gets one, blah, 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 back and forth. The first person to 3 wins the challenge. Tyson wins immunity.
I'm exhausted.
I'm exhausted.
We're out of time.
Rupert? Oh, wow, okay. Rupert. So that we got the immunity. Oh my God, the time is, we got like 5 or 10 more minutes. So basically, Tina's tribe loses. They have to strategize.
He's saying 2.
2 minutes? All right, we'll speed it up. Tina's tribe goes. Then it's all about Laura B makes a huge, huge blunder.
Right.
She tells Vetus immediately, "You're going home."
Right.
And the women are pissed off.
The second she got to the beach, it was just like, let me just spill the tea.
Ryan, I'm sorry, but tonight you're gonna have to, go home.
That was one of the dumbest moves ever in Survivor.
Like, Gina Marie, get the step in.
So all the girls were pissed off. I mean, this is what we would be doing if I was in the tribe. It would be me, Monica, and Tina, which is always how we strategize, and we just walk away and be like, oh my god, we just got Laura beat. Like, oh my god. You got Laura beat.
Yeah, it's the same thing. You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of, in One World, I always reflect to it, is Tarzan. We always just say we just got Tarzan because he'd go on a rant and we'd be like, what just happened? He just exploded the entire lineup to the person that gets eliminated.
Yeah,
we're like, you can't do that.
It basically was obviously the reason she went home and opened up the door for Vetus to woo the women. Jerry told us to say she's saying that Vetus is the Parvati, the male version of Parvati, which he said he would be going into the season.
He's good. I will tell you.
He's very good.
He's very good, and he knows exactly what he should and should not say.
He gets those openings, those little cracks, and gets them.
But from where just FYI, from where he came from, that's something that those type of people are really good at. Like when you come from that type of lifestyle and you come out and you're a different person, usually that's what you're good at, is those types of little things.
And,
I'm not
because
good at that
he also knows. I mean, his story is great and everything else. I'm sure it meant a lot to him, but he also is clearly using it to his advantage, which is good for him.
He's playing these women like a fiddle.
It's just like as if Tyson has a broken arm. Right. It's the same thing. Use something.
If Laura B had not said what she said, Kat, do you think the women would have stuck together?
No. I think Laura B was still going to go.
But do you think it was a bad move that they did not send Laura B home? Because we all still would have sent Vetus.
I don't think it was a bad idea. Either way, it's going to be good or bad. Like, I mean, Vetus was gone. Good. Ours is smaller now, but Laura B, she's such a wild card. If you piss her off, she'll go to the other side.
So you don't think they could have reined her in?
Have you ever seen Samoa with Laura M?
Have you asked him?
Remember
what are the tribes' name on Samoa?
Remember in Samoa when there was that one wild card with the hair? She was.
Yeah, I can't remember.
What is her name?
Can't remember her name.
What kind of hair?
You know it?
Shambo?
Shambo,
yeah.
Wild
the tie-dye, it's a tie-dye connection.
Yes.
Shambo with the tie-dye. Thank you, Rupert, Shambo with the tie-dye connection.
Point is that wild cards you can't trust them, which is why in One World we had, when we went, Kim got eliminated, or Kim eliminated Monica because they thought Monica was a wild card because she would always talk to the boys and the girls.
Yeah.
Same thing.
So it's better for the girls to take the Vetus card where they can kind of trust him, but can they?
But they can't. I'm telling you.
That's the thing why we're saying.
Both ways suck.
Vetus
the point is they should have kept me.
They should have kept you, Kat.
That's what they should have done.
They should have kept you.
Because I would have stayed loyal to all of them. The only reason why I was only confirming with Tina just what she was conveying to me the whole time I've been there.
Yeah.
And so that's the only. And so now she wants to drop a bomb because she wants to freaking have a wedding. Come on, keep me. I was loyal to you.
And we see in the preview that the merge is next week. So here they kept Vetus 2 weeks in a row where Vetus should have gone home. Next week, someone's coming back from Redemption Island. Vetus is still in the game. Is Vetus controlling? Vetus seems like he's controlling this game. Is that what you think?
I think it's just following the way they are, and he's just lucky.
And honestly, I'm telling you, it's all about luck. My first season was luck. This season, I got shafted.
Rolling with the punches,
shafted.
Oh, they're cueing us to go. So, Kat, thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure,
Laura
guys.
B went home.
We talked about that. Laura B went home, and it was basically that big mistake. Rupert, thank you for joining us.
Rupert.
You and your wife, if she doesn't get on Redemption Island, have fun, wherever you travel after.
Kat, where are you on Twitter? Where can people find you?
Everyone follow me at Kat Edorsson or #HatTeamHat. It would be great, and we'd really appreciate it.
Fantastic. I'm at Ryan A. Carrillo at Instagram, Snapchat, and everything else.
I just got that. Is that hashtag a Hayden Kat?
Hayden and Kat.
My God.
We've been throwing it's #hat.
Okay, predictions. I predict John's coming back from Redemption. I also predict we will see you and Hayden on Amazing Race. That's just my prediction. I'm predicting that we we will see you on The Amazing Race. So, Kat, thank you so much for joining us. We loved having you.
And
come back anytime.
I would like to be invited.
ABC has their bachelor wedding specials. If this happens, CBS is doing a wedding special.
Absolutely.
Damn it.
All right, guys, thank you so much. Give us all your comments on YouTube and iTunes. And thank you again, Kat. Awesome having you in studio.
Thanks, guys. Have a nice day.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.